his workout. This is what he does. He does not have to step into throws. He does everything off of opening that right hip and then whipping that left hip. That's where he gets all his power.
Hey, my foot mechanics and my hip movement is not quite like Dak's, but we'll just take it from here. How you all doing? Welcome back to GCF God Cars Football with me, Raphael. On this episode, you can see clearly, look at me, I'm wearing my Romo jersey. I'm trying to represent well, because I want to show people you can be a Romo fan and also still love your current quarterback in Dak Prescott. You can compare the two. You can compare their stats. You can compare how they used to play. You can compare anything you like about them, but you gotta understand, man, these are both the Cowboys quarterbacks, and they get a lot of hate. But particularly, I'm gonna be talking a lot about Dak today, because, man, he gets a whole lot of hate, too much hate. So anyway, if you look on my Twitter, I'm gonna post a picture up now. I go back and forth with guys all the time about Dak Prescott. And I mean, listen, I follow all these people on Twitter. I like them all. They're all cool people. I love them. I got love for all of them. But there seems to be a lot of Dak hate. And I mean, it's unwarranted. I mean, you know, okay, he's not, we get it. He's not Patrick Mahomes. He's not Russell Wilson. He's 4 years into the league. He's done quite a lot in 4 years. I mean, like I said in the introduction video a couple of months ago, you want more, obviously. You want a Super Bowl. But people got to understand, man, Jason Garrett, you know, everybody says this is an excuse, but Jason Garrett, man, that guy, he couldn't coach his way out of a paper bag. And I mean, that's saying it lightly, and with all due respect to him. He's a great gentleman also, but not an NFL head coach, as we've seen over the past 10 years plus. And he, you know, him and I said to somebody on Twitter, I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna post it up. But if you look, I said to somebody, I said, you know, Romo, let me see Romo on another team without Jason Garrett as a head coach. And I'm talking about in his prime, you know, not when he first started out in his first 3-4 years. Because he had Parcells for a little bit there, and I know he had Wade Phillips for maybe a couple years too. But give me Romo without Jason Garrett. Give me Romo with like a McCarthy. Give me Romo with a Gruden. Give me Romo with a Bill Cowher. Give me Romo with a Tom Coughlin. I think Romo would be a multiple Super Bowl winner. And I think the same about Dak. I think right now we have an opportunity to see Dak take the next step, and he's already done that. In 4 years, he's taken the next step every time. I haven't seen him regress. There's been flashes of it. There's been little pieces and parts in each season, yeah, where maybe he didn't do too well in a patch of games or whatever. But that happens to every NFL quarterback. I don't care who you are. It happened to Patrick Mahomes. Happens to Deshaun Watson. Happens to Russell Wilson. Happens to Rodgers. Happens to Brady, Breeze. All of them. So, you know, the expectation of a lot of Cowboys fans is that we need a perfect quarterback. Dude, there ain't no such thing as perfect. You're never going to have a perfect quarterback. That's not going to be. I don't care who you get. Matt Stafford, I'm hearing a lot of. I mean, what has Matt Stafford done? And he's in a similar boat. He's a talented guy with, you know, a subpar team and subpar coaching and everything like that. But the notion that we can just bring in anybody over Dak and all of a sudden be a better team and pay less money and all this stuff, it makes no sense to me. And also, I gotta say, there's a lot of Cowboys, and I put in quotes, fans on Twitter that I see. No offense, don't take any offense, guys, but it's like, how can you claim to be a fan of a team and you just, every little thing they do, you don't like it, you don't, you're not supporting it? So it's basically, you might as well be a fan of the Eagles because you hate everything the Cowboys do. So just go be a fan of Carson Wentz and the Eagles. You know what I mean? And I'm a fan of Carson Wentz. I'm not a fan of the Eagles, but I'm a fan of football in general, so I can appreciate every team. I can appreciate different quarterbacks. I can appreciate different things that different teams do. I can very much appreciate how the Eagles, as much as I hate it, how they went and won the Super Bowl a few years ago with Nick Foles through the playoffs. And I'm not going to take away from Wentz. He brought them there during the regular season. He put them in position to be into the playoffs and start doing well. I mean, I don't remember how many games it was, but I remember he got injured, I think, at the Rams. And I mean, their record was already pretty good. It was 10+ wins, I believe. But needless to say, he put him in position well. And then Nick Foles handled the rest. So you can't fully give credit to Wentz either, but you got to give him some credit where credit is due. So, but that being said, I saw on Twitter the other day a tweet of a Cowboys fan, and he said he posted like a fake, he pretended like he was Adam Schefter for a minute. Like he put a picture of Adam Schefter's Twitter on his profile and tweeted out that breaking news that Dak Prescott's going to opt out for the season and Andy Dalton will be the starter. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, I hope this is not real. But then I looked, it's not real. It's not really Adam Schefter. But me and the guy went back and forth a little bit. And he's telling me, why would I want to see Dak in year 5 with the new head coach? And I'm trying to think to myself, I'm like, how can you rationalize not wanting to see it? I mean, he's done pretty good things in 4 years. Am I wrong? Or like, has he just been a complete waste of space? I mean, come on. Yeah, granted, the team around him was great. That's what everybody says. The team around a lot of players are great. And the quarterback does well with that, or he doesn't. So our quarterback has done pretty well with what he has, and it's great. So what's the problem? Let's see if he takes the next step. This is year 5. He's got McCarthy, who's a proven winner already. He's won a Super Bowl with Rodgers, granted, okay. But he's won a Super Bowl. Garrett has never won a Super Bowl in any coaching capacity ever. He's won a Super Bowl as a backup quarterback with Aikman as his starter. Okay, so maybe you could argue he has that experience as a backup. Great. But Garrett was never going to win a Super Bowl with Dallas. I mean, let's be honest. I always hoped for it. I always pushed for it, but I mean, I knew when it came down to the playoffs, the big games, he would crumble when it came to being a real coach. He could never discipline his team. If you noticed, there were games, man, where it was almost laughable to watch. It'd be like 6 penalties in the span of 3 minutes, and he's just sitting there clapping and tapping guys on the butt. Man, like, listen, you got to dig into your players a little bit. You can't just, everything's not just clapping and good job and let's go. Come on, we'll go on the next one. That's a good attitude to have sometimes. But a lot of times you got to dig into your players too, at least from what I've seen big and good coaches do. So, and also another thing is, along with the discipline, he never was good at in-game adjustments. There were countless times where I would see we were just getting our tails knocked off and they just kind of laid down, whereas a lot of teams would be on the sidelines looking up new things to do. And I look on the camera, on the NFL films and on the games, and you just see that Garrett there with this blank stare on his face like, oh man, what am I going to do next? That separates the men from the boys as far as coaching. In that instance, when you see a coach sitting there staring blankly, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't have the experience. He doesn't have the coaching wherewithal to make adjustments and to help will his team, back into the thing. I mean, just sits there. So And not only that, but his time management, man, I don't care. You could say it was other coaches and, you know, special teams and this and that, but Garrett was the head coach at that time, and he was the sideline leader of the team. I mean, so he has to make the calls. He has to make the time management calls, and every single time I'd be scratching my head like, what kind of call was that? Why? Why are you making that call, and how does that help you as far as your clock goes? Like I remember even the Dez catch, okay? I've had this argument with a few people before. But the Dez catch, the Green Bay no catch, that was, I believe that was a 4th and 6 or 4th and 4. But we had like, what, 4 or 5 minutes left. And he decided to call a play where Romo was going to throw it deep up to Dez. Now granted, Dez did catch that ball. Let's be honest about that. But why are you calling that play? Like, what is making you call that play? You know, don't you think it would be a lot easier to get the first down and still run some more clock off? You know, 4 yards. You have been moving the ball pretty well on Green Bay all the whole game. You could probably even run it for 4 yards. I know you don't do that on 4th and 4, but I would have liked that play better than a deep pass, you know, with your whole season on the line, just one deep pass, one throw it up ball. So there were so many things that he could have ran. He could have ran a couple of drag routes. He could have ran some outs, some little fake, you know, slant and goes or something. Not just one deep, one go on the left side, and that's it. And I mean, Witten, I don't even know what he ran. And Beasley, I think, ran like some kind of little short route, but the play took too long to develop, and Romo just went to the left side to Dez. But you know, it's crazy if you ask me. I just don't understand it. There's so many things that could have been done better with Garrett at the helm. But going back to Dak, so you guys all question Dak's everything basically. He's not elite in anything, according to a lot. If he's not elite in anything, then how is he still a starter 4 years later? And how is he winning games? How is he never had a losing season? You know, how's he putting up the numbers that he's putting up? Of course it takes a team, but the quarterback is part of that team. I hope you guys know it's not all Amari Cooper and all Ezekiel Elliott and all our offensive line. The quarterback is a big portion of that team. So you gotta account for that. You can't only say, oh well, it's the team around them, because there are a lot of gaps in that team too, and have been for a while. Defense has been an issue for a long time for the Cowboys. In 2018, they were good, but they weren't elite. And you know, there were times where I thought they could be in 2018, but you could see once came playoff time, they weren't an elite team. And part of that has to do with coaching, because they weren't coached well. You know, they weren't disciplined well. They didn't have the discipline to be an elite defense. To say that Dak is only doing well because of the team around him is unfair. He plays a very big role in every game that we win. He plays a big role in our offensive numbers. He plays a big role in the leadership style. I just don't understand how as a Cowboys fan you could not be excited to see the next year. I mean, everybody knows, man. Everybody who knows me knows, look, I've always been a diehard Cowboys fan. I loved Romo, man. I loved that triplets. I loved Romo, I loved Dez, I loved Murray, and I loved Witten. I mean, those four together, but the triplets in Murray, Dez, and Romo. But I even have been on record to say that I think that 2014 team was the best Cowboys team I've seen since I watched old games in the 90s, honestly. I mean, we had our 2016 team was pretty good with Dak. Our 2018 team was pretty good. But just the unity and the tightness that they had, and the youth In 2014, they had a young Dez, they had a young offensive line. They had, you know, an aging Witten, but he was a lot younger then, obviously 6 years younger. They had a Murray who was, man, Murray was just a steamroller. That dude behind that offensive line, man. You could have, if you would have just ran the ball to him every down, you probably would have. There's no way they would have been able to stop him. I don't know how many negative plays he had that year, but it wasn't many negative yardage plays. So, you know, as far as arguing the teams around Dak and this and that, there's been some good teams around Dak. There's been some good teams around Romo. I think the underlying factor that nobody wants to address is the coach was never a championship caliber coach. I mean, let's be honest. So now we have that. What in your right mind would make you not want to see what he could do with Dak Prescott, with Ezekiel Elliott, with CeeDee Lamb, with Amari Cooper, with Michael Gallup, with Blake Jarwin, with the rest of our offensive line, Lyle Collins, Tyron Smith, all these guys. Travis Frederick retired, okay. But we still got a pretty tight unit, a pretty nice offensive line. We still got Zach Martin. So we can be great on offense. And now with McCarthy, maybe that coaching leadership and that instilled championship caliber style of play can help us get to that next step that we've all been waiting for. So my thing is, let's stop hating on our starting quarterback. Let's give the guy, you know, give him a chance now with the new head coach. We've all been disappointed with the Garrett-led teams, stemming all the way back to when he took over. It's been a steady stream of 8 and 8s, pretty much, with a few nice seasons in there. So let's give this a chance. Let's stop hating every single thing the Cowboys do. It's down to the point where everybody hates the owner, everybody hates the coaches, everybody hates the quarterback, everybody hates everything. It's like, why are you a fan of this team if you hate everything about them and their style? You know what I mean? So give them a chance, and you never know. This might be our year. Let's have hope, guys. This could be our year to win a ring in the COVID year. You never know. Assuming we have a season, but let's hope for it. The moral of this story is, you got a quarterback who's promising in Dak Prescott. Let's give him a chance this year with Mike McCarthy. Stop everybody trying to push him out of Dallas. Everybody wants Matt Stafford and they want Andy Dalton and this and that. Come on, be real. Really? Give Dak his chance. He's gonna win us a ring, I promise you guys. But that being said, peace out. You guys have a good one. And if I hit that wood over there, you guys all got to be on board with Dak, all right? Let's do it. White 80, white 80. Omaha, white 80, white 80, white 80. Old Romo days. Bam. So now let's give Dak Prescott a chance. Come on, guys. Man, I'm only 26, almost 27, but my shoulders are not as lucid as they used to be. Starting to try and sling it high hurts your shoulders. different. First throw, I threw it like I was throwing to a 2'2" receiver. This time I could launch it high in the air. We'll take it. So guys, did I make the team? Alright guys, can you see that red sign over there? It says Middlebrook at Monmouth. I gotta hit that. Let's see if I can do it. Hey, I hit it.
Out of respect for our flag and for our troops, let's see if I can dap up the flag with the football. Go.
Now, America's team, the Cowboys, my brothers and sisters. Let's go win this Super Bowl this year. Come on, with Dak at the helm. That's what I'm talking about. Just hold it real quick. Just look it up. It'll black out, but just point it towards us. The whole thing. He's like, man, I just got done with a soccer workout. You're killing me. I promise, just one. Almost. Almost.